most amazing artist. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited about today because we finally get to print our Cityscape prints on our watercolor background. So this is the last day for our project, and I just know these are going to turn out amazing because what you guys have been sending me so far has been absolutely fabulous. So I am just super excited to see how yours turns out. All the materials that you're going to need really depend on what materials you have at home. So last week we practiced two different printmaking techniques. We did one with black paint and we did another one with a black marker. If you're going to use the black marker technique, you're going to need a damp sponge or something to dampen your paper with a little bit. If you're going to do the black paint technique, then you're going to need a paintbrush or something to apply your paint to your Cityscape foam printing plate. So you're also going to need that. The first step of this project was to actually make a watercolor background. Of course, if you didn't have watercolors, you could have used colored pencils, crayons, markers, whatever you have at home. As long as up on the top half we used warm colors, reds, yellows, and oranges, and the bottom half we used cool colors, blues, purples, and greens. So on that background, we're going to be printing on top. So you need that background today as well. And like we talked about last week, printmaking is pretty messy, so we definitely need to put something down on our table and have paper towels or wipes handy to clean as we go. Before we get started, let's go ahead and say our class mantra all together on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. My mantra: I am positive, I am creative, I am mindful, I am amazing, I am an artist. All right guys, let's go ahead and get started. So now is the time that we finally get to print onto our sky and water background. So if you practiced both techniques last week, one with black marker and one with the black paint, you get to choose which one you want to do for your final. If you only have black paint, then of course you can do just the black paint technique. And if you don't have any paint at all and you only have a black marker, then of course you can do the marker technique. And if you don't have the color black, then guys, you can use whatever colors you want to. I just think black or a darker color will look really nice against our very colorful and vibrant background. Okay, so for me, I am going to do the black paint technique. And I remember last week I made a little mistake. The first time I printed, I went kind of slow, so my paint dried really fast and it didn't pick up on my paper as much. So my second time printing, I learned and I did it a lot faster, and as you can see, the print turned out a lot better. I can see a lot more detail. So I'm gonna remember that while I'm printing on my final. That's why we did a practice, so that we can learn from those mistakes and not make the same mistakes on our final piece of paper. All right, so I have everything I need and I am ready to start printing. And I wanna have it laid out in a way where I can do it quickly, because like I said from my practice sheet, I can't go slow or else it's not gonna turn out very good. So I need to go kind of fast while I'm doing this. And just like last week, I'm just gonna quickly paint this black paint onto my plate, my styrofoam printing plate. If you are doing the black marker technique and you forgot how to do it, then go back to last week's video and relearn how to do it. All right, but for the painting one, all you need is a little paintbrush, and you're just gonna paint it onto your printing plate. And it does get messy, but I'm going all the way to the edges. If I see any dry areas, I'm just gonna put a little bit more paint to make sure that it is still wet and it's not drying on me like it did last week. And since we're dealing with our final artwork, we need to be super careful not to get black paint all over this. So if you do get black paint on your fingers, then I recommend just wiping it off on your messy mat before you print. But remember, go kind of fast, especially if you're using black paint. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna line the bottom of my printing plate up with the top of my water. And once you press down, that's where it is. Okay, so I'm just gonna hold it down. I'm just gonna carefully flip it over, massage it right on the back to make sure we're picking up all of those details in our plate. And then we can carefully peel it up. Well, with paint it's wanting to stick, and that's fine. I'm just gonna carefully peel up, and there we go. All right, so it looks pretty good. I do have some lighter areas, so I think that I need to go a little bit faster. All right, and as you can see, I only have 1/2 of my paper printed, so I'm gonna have to do it again on the other side, the other half of my paper. And I'm just gonna go a little bit faster than I did last time because I want my print to be a little bit darker than it was. Alright, so now I'm going to flip it over, and it's very important that we line it up to where the last time we printed, where the last one we stopped at, and still line it up on top of our water and press down. Once we press it down, we cannot move it around, okay? So we're just gonna hold it down, take my other hand, flip it over very carefully, still massaging it on the back. Make sure we get all of those details. I'm gonna flip it back over and carefully peel up on my plate. And there we go. And now we have a full cityscape. Isn't that cool? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I've been wanting to print on this painting for like the past 2 weeks, and I'm so excited to finally be able to do it. All right, so I just messed up a little bit. I just taught you how to do the reflection of our buildings in the water, but as you can see, it did not turn out very well. So I just put a little bit more paint onto my plate. But since this is the reflection of our buildings, we don't want it to be as dark as these ones up here. If you look at a real cityscape and you look at the reflection in the water, it's very blurry. You can't really see many details. So I'm letting this dry just a little bit before I print it on the bottom half because I don't want it to be as dark. I want it to kind of look like this first one that I did up here. So I'm letting it dry a little bit. And what I'm gonna do is now I'm gonna print it upside down. So I'm lining up the bottom half. It's basically, I printed like this first. Now I'm gonna flip it upside down and print it on the bottom. And hopefully the paint will transfer onto the painting. Flip it over, still holding the foam plate, and press down. Massage it in. All right, so let's see if it works. Carefully. It's wanting to stick, so just be careful whenever you pull up that we don't break our plate. And yeah, that looks pretty good. It's almost the same darkness, but hey, I'm just gonna go with it. Once you print it, it is what it is. Now I just need to do the last reflection print. So essentially we're doing 2 prints up in the top half, and then we're gonna do 2 prints on the bottom reflection part. So for my last one, it's gonna be a reflection in the water, so I just wanna add a little bit more paint. Don't want it to be too dark. All right. And this one's in the bottom half, so I'm just gonna flip my plate upside down and print it right up where these top buildings end. Press down, go under with my other hand, still holding my plate with my right hand, flip it over, and massage. Let's see how that one turned out. I'm just gonna hold my paper down while I peel my print off. Oh, okay. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. Guys, that's it. That is our cityscape prints. As you can see, we can see the beautiful city right on top of the water. You can see the city reflection in the water. It looks a little bit more blurry, a little bit more messy down here, which is totally fine. It's kind of what we want. We want it to be a lot clearer up here and a little blurry down here like it would be in an actual cityscape. And like I said in my last video, if you weren't able to do the printmaking portion of this project, then what you're gonna do is you're just gonna draw your cityscape up here, like we printed it, and you're gonna draw the reflection in the water. So it's like a flipped image of what's up here. Okay, so you need to draw your cityscape up here and draw the reflection down here. And I would draw in pencil first and then go over it with like a black marker or a black Sharpie or something to kind of make your lines very bold and dark like our prints are. Okay, I hope you guys had a lot of fun during this project. I know I sure had a lot of fun, but as you guys know, I love printmaking, so of course I was going to have a blast doing this. But I hope you guys had fun too, and I seriously cannot wait to see how your final Cityscape prints turn out. I know they're going to be amazing because you guys are amazing. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Bye guys.